Call the Concom meeting officially to order. I want to welcome everybody. The first item we have, and I just want to, before we actually start the agenda, just wanted to tell everybody the meeting is being recorded. And if anyone does want to address the commission, just raise your hand. We'll recognize you. Just come up to the podium and give us your name and address for the record. The first item we have is just open session citizen concerns. So if there's something that's not on tonight's agenda that someone wants to bring to our attention, just let us know, and we'll entertain that first before we head into the agenda deeper. All right, well, I don't see any open questions or citizen concerns. So under regulatory hearings, we have a request for determination of applicability. Mary S. Clevin, Summer Street. We should have a legal notice, I believe, Carl.
Yes, we do, Mr. Chair. Right here, pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40, and the Chelmsford Wetlands Bylaw, Chapter 187, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a public hearing in Room 204 at the Chelmsford Town Offices, 50 Billerica Road, on Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022, at 7 p.m. to consider the request for determination of applicability filed by property owner Mary C. Clevin for proposed work within the 100-foot buffer zone to bordering vegetated wetlands at Summer Street, further identified as Assessor's Map 84, Block 334, Lot 3. The project entails removal of living and dead invasive vegetation, with the tree stumps to remain, and fallen woody debris, followed by extension of an existing fence approximately 90 feet. Mr. Chair.
Okay, thanks, Carl. We're certainly generally very supportive of efforts to remove invasive species from the town, so that's good. Do you have some sort of just an overall overview for the commission that you want to present to us now? Great.
Hi, I'm Mary Clevin. I live at 31 Billerica Road. This piece of property, the larger square piece, is where we live at 31 Billerica Road. The parcel behind is a parcel that we recently acquired from the town. We don't own all of that reverse L shape. We just own following all the way down from our existing property line here. So this is the piece. We acquired the rear parcel because our next door neighbor at 27 Billerica Road passed away. His family realized that their swimming pool was built partially on town property, so they either needed to get rid of their swimming pool or acquire the land, so they asked if we would consider acquiring the land with them and splitting it along the property line. So that's the reason that we acquired it. There has been a lot of dumping in that triangular area over the decades that the town has owned the land. I haven't seen fit to police it because I didn't own it. So we would like to get rid of some of the debris that's there and take down some of the trees that aren't really viable. And then we'd like to extend our existing wooden fence along the entire length there of Summer Street so that people stop dumping.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Ms. Clevin, for the overview. Let's see if the commissioners have any questions for you at all. We'll start down this end. John, anything?
This little piece, that little triangular piece, that's on Summer Street, correct?
It is. It's just off Summer Street.
Yes. This is Summer Street right here. It's hard to read on the.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's done.
And you just want to stop people from dumping?
Correct. But I'd like to clean up all the crud that's been accumulating for 30-odd years there.
I don't think I have any problems right now.
Okay, good. All right, thanks, John. We'll roll along then. Chris?
Almost up, Mr. Chairman.
Good, yeah. Dave?
Is the extension of the fence is going to be right along the street line? How far in from the edge of the street would it be? I can't recall how far. Your existing fence is pretty close to the street now, right?
7 or 8 feet.
When you dig the post holes for the extension, will you be digging in the wetlands? You know?
No,
Okay, is it because it slopes up to the street?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it
dips way down.
Yeah, the low part is the wetlands, up where the street is,
And they
okay.
recently
Yeah.
wetland areas with pink ribbon.
So you got enough room to put the post holes in and stay out of the wetlands. And they can do it from the street? They don't have to go into the site to put, I wouldn't think so, right?
Yeah, Martell Tree Services, they can do everything. from
Are
the
they
tree.
doing everything in Chelmsford?
It looks like it.
Mary, is there a reason why you don't want to clean out more than just that little triangular, well, since you're before us?
Is the town willing to contribute to the cleanup
Oh, okay, so
of
it's,
their residue over the last 30
oh, that's
years?
that's a good enough answer for me. That's all I had.
I certainly have encouraged the Clevens to the extent that they have the energy and the wherewithal to do more, invasive management on the property, and I expect that they will gradually do that as time goes
Good.
on. So.
You know, there's an interesting attachment to the 270 Billerica Road. There's an invasive management plan,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is which everybody ought to read.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's very, very
That's
well
all I-
prepared.
Good, all right, thanks, Dave. Bill?
I'm fine with this, Chris.
Good, Mark?
You said you're taking down some trees?
Yes.
Do you know what kind they are? Are they invasive?
A lot of Norwegian maples,
Oh,
All
pine.
right, we like that, that's
Yeah.
good.
That's all you needed to hear.
Yep,
All the trees have been marked. I've looked at them, and they are good trees to get rid of, no doubt about
Do you have
it.
any plans to plant any?
Not at the moment. First is getting rid of it, but I do understand that it's good to have something good go in
You'll
before
get natural
something
growth
else,
coming back anyhow, probably.
before
Just
something
make sure
else
it's not
invasive
Norwegian-
comes up.
Norwegian
We
maple.
encourage it.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
we will consider it.
yeah, good. That's it.
all right, good, good.
I love it. I'm good.
Carl, good. Agent Coombs?
Just a couple of other things to point out is that the trees are going to be removed by a crane.
Yes, from the street, they won't be entering because they can reach everything with their crane.
And I would just say the only condition I would put in is that that the excavated soil from digging the post holes for the fence just be removed, the same day or, immediately.
Okay?
Just-
Duly noted.
So certainly I think a negative determination with that condition is.
Okay, good. Any last questions from the commission? This is a public hearing, so if anybody from the public has a question or any input for us, please raise your hand and we'll take that input. All right, no public input, good. So, sounds like we're looking at a approval with a -3 determination?
-3 and with the one proviso that David mentioned.
Thanks, Dave, for the motion.
Yep.
Good, and we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Good, Carl in the second, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in today.
Just give me a few days to do the paperwork, I'll let you know. It's ready to pick up. Thank you.
Next up, we have a notice of intent.
Yeah, that's okay.
Spencer Industries, related to 194 Tingsboro Road. Christian Farr from Hancock Associates will be representing the applicant. We should have a legal notice as well.
Yes, we do. Pursuant to the provisions of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, MGL 131, Section 40, and the Chelmsford Wetlands Bylaw, Chapter 187, the Chelmsford Conservation Commission will conduct a public hearing in Room 204 at the Chelmsford Town Offices, 50 Billerica Road, on Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022, at 7:05 p.m. to consider the notice of intent filed by Spencer Industries, LLC, on behalf of property owner 194 Tingsboro Irrevocable Trust for proposed work within riverfront area, Merrimack River, and 100-foot buffer zone to bank at 194 Tingsboro Road, further identified as Assessor's Map 3, Block 3, Lot 10. The project entails demolition and reconstruction of a single-family house. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you very much. And now we'll hear from the applicant.
Hi, good evening. Kristen Farr with Hancock Associates. I'm a wetland scientist there. So what you have before you is an existing house that's in bad condition, and the owner wants to tear it down and rebuild a new house pretty much in the same footprint, it's within the second 100 feet of your riverfront area. There's really not a whole lot to discuss here, I don't think. We have the roadway coming down to a low point about mid-lot and then going back up towards the rear of the lot. There's no, what do you call it, natural heritage areas here. There's no ACECs, outstanding resource waters, nothing exceptionally special about this lot other than it's in the second 100 feet of the riverfront area. As far as I know, we have a file number for tonight too, so if you
Good.
feel so inclined to issue an order of conditions tonight, that would
How'd you
be
get
wonderful.
DEP to act that fast?
I don't know. We file electronically, so it happens
Good.
faster. Are there any questions I can answer for you?
All right, let's see if the commission's got some questions for you, Kristen. Start again with John.
The garage in the back,
Yes,
that's gonna be raised in the garage,
correct.
new garage. Okay, that's right out of the,
Just out of jurisdiction.
yes, yeah. Okay. A lot of trees coming down?
No, the lot is pretty much manicured lawn.
Okay.
I think there's a tree stump out in the front, but I don't
I
don't
see
think there's any
stumps
trees
or
anticipated
whatever.
to be taken down.
Right.
I mean, I don't think there's any, maybe around the back of the garage, but nothing around the house that I can remember from the site visit.
I'm good right now.
All right, good, John. Good. Chris, anything?
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Dave?
Is there full foundation going into the new house?
No,
So you're not worried about how high the water level is on that site?
No, I've never had water in the basement of the old place,
Okay.
only once, but just in case, we're gonna go with a slab.
Okay. That's all I had, Chris.
All right, thanks, Dave. Bill?
No, the road's between the river and the house.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark, anything?
Yeah, no, there's, just stockpiling, obviously, when you're doing the excavation and tearing the garage down. Probably put something on the back side of the garage when you're raising it, just to keep debris from going any further into the 100-foot area.
so you're asking for a
Just
stockpile
kind
area?
of, some kind of fabric up, just to,
How long is it gonna take you to take down the two buildings? Day?
Day or
2
so?
days? We just,
I would say probably a day, then not.
yeah, but Mark, we don't want the debris blowing all over the place,
Okay.
that's all.
Right.
Are you planning, I haven't spoken to you about this. Are you planning on having a dumpster?
Demolition plans yet. We have obviously asbestos that's gonna be removed from it.
Is that right?
That's all, that's all been.
It's that old, huh?
right.
Yeah, it was built in the 1800s, it's just.
That's
Wow.
right, that's right, you said, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's unfunctional. I mean, if that's something you want, we can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a big deal.
just to keep the debris from blowing in.
Yeah, if you can give us an idea of what you want or whatever, that's fine.
You can condition that.
Yeah, we can condition that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's all I got.
All right, Carl, anything?
No, I don't know.
Mr. Coons?
So I think this is governed by 310 CMR 10.585 for redevelopment of a degraded riverfront area, which the regulations say that there needs to be some kind of improvement on the property. I gather in this case, there's 5 square feet less of impervious surface.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
It's an improvement, yeah.
I met on site with Kristen yesterday. See if we could come up with something. I mean, ideally, if some of the concrete, bituminous concrete pavement could be removed, but that would probably be going to a 1-car instead of a 2-car garage. So.
Unknown caller.
It's a spam calling. See, I should have turned it off, Mark.
Oh, I get blamed for this.
So, So I guess we'll have to go with the 5 square feet less of impervious surface, but that really means that the footprint.
Well, wait a minute, Dave. Was the old house on a foundation?
Yes.
Is that gonna stay there, or is that coming out? The old foundation.
I believe it's coming up.
Yeah, so that's an improvement, right?
Yeah, I think, but as someone said earlier, I mean, you know.
And just pour slab, so I mean,
Yeah, it's granite, most of it.
yeah, that's
Okay.
But I mean, I mean, if the buyer wants to, you know, increase it by even 10 square feet, you know, that's, I think that there's gonna have to be, my recommendation is that there be a condition, the order of conditions, that just make sure that it's kept to this footprint
right.
that's shown on the plan. In fact, I think there should be.
The applicant is the homeowner, so
Oh,
he's,
yeah.
will be living there and, or his
Okay.
house.
Are you the builder?
I'm both, yes.
Okay, so.
I'm not gonna be the construction super, but I'm
Okay.
building it with some.
So I think, so. I
That
think
makes
my-
it easier, honestly, you know,
Yeah, it's
for
fine.
compliance, yeah.
So I recommend there be a condition in the order that requires that the corners of the foundation be pinned. And that I just go out and verify them prior to the start of construction. And we didn't talk about this yesterday, Kristen, but it was just brought up. So erosion control, I mean, there's probably gonna have to be some kind of digging.
So where,
Well, is Tingsboro Road higher than the site?
yes, so it
You
goes
gotta
from,
worry about, while you're in construction, you gotta worry about runoff
To the
from
back.
Tingsboro Road into the site. So at least you got to put something along, it's probably, if you're gonna get water, it's probably gonna come down the driveway, right?
right, so there's,
that maybe you
it's
could
like
put some-
109 by the roadway, and it goes down to 105
so
mid-lot
the-
and back
is-
up.
That's one spot you might consider erosion control. So in a heavy storm, it looks like we get these now. It doesn't come washing down the driveway, that's all.
Yeah, so it looks like maybe just in back of the house is the low point in the property. Okay, well, let me think about that a little bit.
All right, why don't you think about that a bit? Let's see if it's a public hearing, so if anybody from the public has any input or questions for us, now's a good time to bring that forward. All right. Further comments from the commissioners? No? I mean, honestly, to me, sounds like a good project, you know?
Did the historical commission have anything to say about an 1800 house?
There was nothing special.
That's not our jurisdiction, but I'm just interested.
No, I already went before them. There was no special significance or anything else.
It might have been the first house in North Chelmsford.
Yeah, they agreed that it was an improvement and that, you know, they looked at it, that something needed to be done with it.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's too bad.
Yeah, it's just, you know, there's too much it needs to fix it.
Okay, Chris, I'm sorry, you still asking for?
Well, let's just, no,
You want
David, do you have some recommendations for conditions at this point, before Dave makes his motion?
Well, he said pin the 4 corners.
Right.
That's one condition. And the other was erosion control.
Yeah, I can give a little bit of thought to that, you know, while I'm actually writing it. We don't need to keep the hearing open for that.
It's really to keep it off at Tingsboro Road, I think.
Right, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
All right,
move,
so
I
to
move we
close
issue
the
a
hearing?
standard order of conditions with 2 special conditions. One saying that the proposed site for the house, the 4 corners be pinned as presented to us. And the second condition is that erosion controls be put in place to prevent storm runoff from Tingsboro Road during construction.
All right, well, thanks, Dave. Do we have a second on Dave's motion?
Second.
John on the second?
What do
Question?
you want from me? I don't understand. It goes up to the road, water's not gonna travel uphill.
No, it's coming off the road.
Off the
Right.
road.
I want to keep it off the site. So put erosion control along the Tingsboro Road edge, so it doesn't flow off the road. That's what I meant. Did you have some other thing?
Oh, I thought you were concerned about like just some riprap so they can drive onto, when they drive onto the road, but no, okay, no, I got nothing. No. I was confused.
Yeah, no, there was,
Standard construction.
There's an existing driveway there, right?
Yes.
So you're gonna use
It's
that
not in our
during
jurisdiction,
construction.
Joe, we can't make them do it.
exactly, it's not really, our interests are the wetlands, resources, and that, but on the other hand, it's a good idea to do it.
Yeah.
Well, there are no wetlands, right?
Exactly, so, good idea to do it.
So the hearing should be closed first.
Yeah, let's have, Dave, just give us a motion to close the hearing procedurally here.
Did you guys take public comment?
Was there a public comment?
Hmm?
No?
Usually ask.
No, well, I did ask once, but we can
Okay.
ask
Okay, just making sure.
a second time. Any public comment? No, good. No, I did ask once. So Dave's got a motion to close the hearing, and we have a second on that? John, on the second? All those in favor of closing the hearing? Aye. Any opposed? None. Unanimous. So the hearing's closed, and now Dave, back to your motion.
I move we issue a standard order of conditions with two special conditions. One is that the proposed site for the new house, the corners be pinned as presented to us in the plans. And the second one is that adequate erosion control be put in place to prevent runoff from Tingsboro Road onto the site. Is there a third one for Mark to prevent stuff when the houses are being pulled down? Mark, you didn't want debris flowing around when they were.
Right,
Yeah,
just-
so that's probably a third
Towards the
condition.
back, the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's probably like 50 feet, 60 feet, just going across the back there,
Yeah.
just to keep the drag.
Yeah.
So what did you want there?
It's just some kind of filter
No fence type.
yes, some kind of silt fence. Yeah,
Not a
just to
silt
collect the
fence,
trash. It doesn't go
It's gotta
beyond
be
the
4 or 5
wetlands.
feet high, right? Just to prevent wind from blowing the debris.
That's fine.
All right,
That's it.
got Dave's
It's
motion
all right.
there with those conditions, and do we have a second again? John, you seconded earlier?
Second.
Second by Mark, all right. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Unanimous. All right, you're all set.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Keep some pieces from the old house and put a sign on the new house that says originally built in 1800 or whenever it was, yeah.
It's an oldie.
Bring the parts to Dave's house.
Thank you.
All right. Next on our regulatory agenda is a notice of intent that was continued from July 26th, DH Property Holdings, LLC, 270 Billricker Road, Casey Ferrer, and Howard Stein Hudson, representing the applicants.
So they requested a continuance to the September 13th meeting.
All right, so can we have a motion then to continue to September 13?
Moved.
Moved by Mark, seconded by Chris. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So continue to September 13th. What are the folks, you folks are out there, are you here for any particular item, or?
Yeah, we're at 120 Gorham Street.
Oh, yes.
The draft enforcement order I sent around.
Late in the day.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see it yet.
Let him
but,
speak, yeah.
Well, let's kind of take that now so you guys aren't here all night. Wait. Yeah, come on up to the front row. Yeah, come on up to the front row here. And we'll have our agent just give a little overview here first. David, you want to give us an overview?
Sure. This is Keith. Keith Silva had applied for a building permit to build an addition at 120 Gorham Street. And of course, it's I have to sign off on most of those permit applications. He had, I think back in 2018, had filed a notice of intent for a new swimming pool, and I took a look at the wetland plan that had been, the wetland delineation that had been submitted for that. And although it didn't extend all the way over to where the addition's being planned, it started curving. It looked like it was curving away from the house. So he had been waiting a long time. It looked to be a reasonable assumption that the addition was out of the buffer zone. So I signed off on it, but I told him that I wanted to do a site inspection, see if I thought any erosion control would be necessary. So I did the, I took a look at the site today, and number one, I noticed, it was obvious right away that the addition is in fact in the buffer zone, but Keith has agreed to file a notice of intent for that. But what my greater concern actually was that he's done a lot of excavating of soil, not only for the addition, but I gather also, and I'll let Keith explain it, but also apparently to control the drainage off of the hillside. But he's moved the excavated soil right to the edge of the wetlands. I mean, it's probably 7 or 8 feet high, 7 or 8 feet high embankment of just excavated soil right next to the wetlands. So that I think is much more the immediate concern, that soil needs to be removed right away. But I have asked him to hire a wetland consultant to delineate the wetlands, as you know, part of the overall you know, approach to the problems on the site. So I did draft an enforcement order and sent it around to the commission. So I'll just bring that up now. So the extent and type of activity: construction of an addition to an existing house, excavating and dumping soil, and then just first thing is to file a notice of intent for construction of the addition. Then also install silt fence along the edge of the excavated soil adjacent to the wetlands. Remove all stockpiled / stored construction materials from the 100-foot buffer zone. Hire a wetland scientist to delineate the site's wetlands and determine whether wetlands have been filled with excavated material. So when I discussed this with Keith on site, he was agreeable to doing all of this.
Good. All right, good. Well, Keith, you got the floor now.
All right. Where should we start off? I can show you the plot plan, show you the old Susan. I had the conservation Susan author. I believe this is her diagram at the moment. I can show I
Yeah, bring it right up here.
All right.
Yeah, we'll pass those around. Thanks.
this site.
Okay, you guys. Okay. Okay.
That's this one, right?
Yep. Yes.
Good.
And this is the certified plot plan. And
Good.
that was from last time when I had to present the pool.
Good.
And this is the plot, the actual plan from where the addition is.
Okay.
It is actually, it is on the, if you look at the building, it's on the right
Okay.
side of the building. As you
Okay.
can see, probably on the next page, it will show you. I have no problem with erosion control.
Good.
As you see, this started bending out, so I anticipated that it was at the time. But I have no problem doing whatever you have
Good.
to do.
Good.
See,
This was to build a pool?
no, the one at 2018, that was to build the pool. This is to build the addition. This is this
Okay.
plan.
Good.
It's just showing you.
Right.
So were they
previous-
both under the same order of conditions?
No.
So we have two separate orders of conditions, one for the pool?
There will be two separate. I mean, there will be one for the pool, which is still open, although.
That was the original one, was to
Yeah,
put the
that was-
pool in.
that was like-
Yeah.
And now the new one is to put an
Will
addition.
be for the addition.
But the
yes.
pool is in.
Yeah, that's been.
And is the
years ago with
material,
David. This
is
was-
the material that David's talking about from the pool or from the
No, it's from the
addition?
digging of the addition.
Okay.
There's
All right.
nothing at the pool.
Okay.
There's none.
So
You can verify
the,
that.
so
I've
the
seen
pool's
it.
done?
Yeah, it's been
Okay,
3 years.
gotcha.
And it looks great. There's no erosion. There's-
Gotcha.
Good.
it's gorgeous.
Good. Well, I mean, basically, look, you know, you understand, mistakes happen, right?
Yeah, no.
And we're here, the commission's here to work with you, and we're gonna issue the enforcement order with the conditions, and again, our agent's here, he works for us, he's our agent, and, you know, you just work with him, and, you know, you just have to do what he tells you to do, and we'll get this all straightened out.
We can keep
Good.
going though, no issue at the moment.
Well, what's our timing on this? I think this is kind of a sequence of what has to happen first, right?
Well, you know, since I did sign off on the permit, I don't think it's reasonable to shut him down.
Okay.
I don't see any immediate concerns with the construction of the addition. He is going to file the notice of intent ASAP. I mean,
ASAP,
the enforcement
okay.
order will say by September 13th.
Yep.
So I don't have a problem with him continuing with the construction of the addition, but he does need to get that soil, pulled
You
away
gotta get
from.
that soil pulled back from the wetlands. That's like #1 priority.
Could I draw out where it's going to be on
Yeah,
this map,
sure.
just so we can get a better understanding? That
Sure.
is, you see the curve line, it's
Okay.
barely in the buffer. If
Okay.
you wouldn't even.
Are you eventually gonna use the material on the site, or are you gonna take it away
I'm gonna take it and bring it to.
some other place?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you
for
can you
Bill.
do that earlier rather than
Yeah,
later?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
To keep us going, absolutely, whatever is.
All right, well, let's see if the commissioners have more questions or comments for you right now. John, anything from there?
No, Dave's looking at this odd.
Yep.
I think he's gonna have a handle on it.
Yeah, exactly. Dave's got oversight.
You know.
so, yeah.
So just would like to commission, though, to vote to approve the enforcement order as drafted.
Okay. All right, well, I think we need a motion then to approve the enforcement order as drafted.
So move.
So moved by Dave, seconded by? Seconded by Chris on the left here. Any discussion before we vote on the enforcement order? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so the enforcement order has been approved by the commission, and you'll get a copy soon?
Yeah, I'll send an email tomorrow. You can pick it up in the next day or two.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Keith. Thank you very much. Very good.
What stage is it in? Is the foundation dug?
No, he's still putting in the forms for the footings. So
So the foundation's dug for the addition?
it's dug, yes.
Is the silt fence up and everything?
No, because I thought it was outside the buffer zone. But he's going to do that ASAP.
Okay.
It's right in the enforcement order.
All right, okay.
Good. Well, good.
I think it'd be good to go visit.
Good work.
again.
Yeah,
Yes,
good work,
absolutely.
David. Good. Appreciate you being on top of this.
Yeah, good job.
All right, good. Yeah. All right, so back on our agenda, we have the discussion with respect, we talked preliminarily about this at our last meeting, possible acquisition of 4.17 acres on Old Westford Road for open space. David, you get a chance to go out there and take a look at that site?
I did, and here it is. I mean, it's a pretty site.
It's a cool site, and
Yeah.
for this is the one where we had the cow and the horse out there for
Cool
years.
site for what?
Moo and,
Well, for the cow and the horse, Dave,
No, just the cow.
Well, now only the cow.
It's it has a nice rural look to it. It's
Rural
just,
look is right. Old Chelmsford look to it.
It's just not very large, so that's the problem
Yeah.
I see with it.
do we know, is it buildable?
Couple lots.
You think maybe 2 lots, maybe?
How is it
think so.
buildable? There's a river, there's a stream
There's
going
a
right
stream.
Right down the middle.
Yeah, but
There's what?
Isn't there a stream
Wetland
going
right
right down the middle?
Yes.
yeah,
There is.
It doesn't never flood.
Chris,
That's a good
you're an
question.
engineer. You can make a pond percolate.
Right.
There's no riverfront associated with it?
I don't
Has
know.
there
It's a-
ever
Yeah.
been way before?
So
There is.
We decided this one time?
there's riverfront
it's-
associated with it.
I think it is
We
riverfront.
Probably could get
I think it is riverfront.
one lot, maybe 2. All along, he's wanted 4, and that's why he's never gone ahead with it. Because we wouldn't even talk to him.
But if the green is the river, essentially, it's the center of
Yes.
that.
That's
Yeah.
what it is,
You
yeah.
have 200 feet on both sides.
Yeah.
You can't have any degraded
No,
area
you
within
could
that.
argue it's redevelopment.
No, but it's not, because the definition of degraded land is land that's devoid of grass, et cetera.
We understand, we have never been amenable to him doing anything there. I thought he might be able to get one house on it,
That's a-
but he never went that far.
So, I mean,
It's
It
assessed
doesn't-
at 92,000,
92,000.
Yep. 92.3.
It's just, typically when we as a commission vote
Well,
to acquire something, we're looking for land that's contiguous to one of our existing, reservations or, land that's a natural fit and or land that we want to make sure doesn't get developed. And then when we have land that comes along that's like really wet, that doesn't look like it's going to be developed, we generally don't want to take that on because it's.
We don't need to.
You don't need to, exactly. So, I don't know. Does anybody, have any feelings of wanting to pursue this further?
If we could get it for the assessed price, if the town could get it for the assessed price, sure. If we're gonna pay $1 million, no.
I don't even think it's worth the assess for us. I don't think, because as Chris said, nothing can really be done on that site, so why should we want it for conservation? There's no area, I suppose you could put some parking on it, but it's effectively, it's landlocked by everything else. The only thing it's close to is a soccer field and the girls' softball field, and the baseball field. That's the only, and Sully's. That's the only thing it's close to. So it's not the kind of thing that people are gonna go walking on. It's not the kind of thing we would turn into a wildlife refuge because of the traffic, among other things. You got two pretty major roads on either side of it.
4-H club.
We could have tractors, keep tractors out there.
Tractors. He's got a tractor already there.
Only green ones.
He's got a tractor there. Mark's got his eye on it.
That's international, isn't it?
No, it's a John Deere.
John Deere?
Green?
Yeah, it's
Only
green.
green ones.
It's green.
I thought it was red.
No, it's
But I
green.
think Dave's points are well taken too, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I agree with Dave.
yeah. All right, so I think at this point, we don't see any, we don't have strong interest from the Conservation Commission. I think, Dave, is that gonna give you enough to go back to the town manager on for feedback?
Yeah, although, if you feel like taking a vote.
So I make a motion that we decline the offer for the property at,
Is there a street number?
There is no
Old
street
West, yeah,
number.
the 4.17 acres on Old Westford
Yeah,
Road.
that's good. Okay, good. So we got a motion there. Do we have a second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Bill on the motion. And all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Okay, so unanimous. So you got a vote there for the record.
I will let Mr. Cohen know.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, so then, back on continued business, we have the land management report. Carl, you want to give us, you did an excellent presentation in front of the selectmen last night.
Yeah.
Well, the CPC is.
Yeah, you got
And
you got the money.
CPC
That's
as well.
that's the
even more important
thing.
with, yeah, the
Well,
CPC.
yeah, it was 23,000 plus or minus last week at the CPC meeting, and that actually comes from the land capital improvement fund, and so it doesn't have to go to town meeting, and so that's
That mean
done.
we can start to spend it?
That's an approval,
Yeah.
it's all done. Yep, we just have to.
Excellent.
We've already started spending it, to be really
Well, I mean, Bill can
transparent.
go ahead with ordering the sign.
Yes, yep.
Yep,
for example.
yep,
Nice.
yep, but we've got the approval, so we can go
Great.
ahead with that. I kind of sensed from the discussion that I think our idea that Dave had at our last meeting about getting some money from that fund on a regular basis, I think that kind of would fit in. But I.
How
need
did
to
they,
do a little-
did they react to that?
I didn't talk about it.
It's funny, because I was talking to the Carlisle conservation agent. She had never heard of you doing that. She was gonna look into it. She thought it was a neat idea.
Sylvia, yeah,
Well, Carl looked up the Boxborough warrant article
Yeah.
where.
pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's good. And then last night, Paul had asked for an update on the warrant poll status for the select board. And I had a few slides that presented to them where we were. And there were two questions. One was on the status of the CR and when we thought it would be complete. And I said, I hear 2 years is a normal time for a CR, and we're just finishing year one. So I think they were a little surprised it's that long, but
come
that's-
on.
It
but
shouldn't be.
It's the way it
It
is.
shouldn't be. I
That's-
mean, we've
that's pretty
seen in the
normal.
past. Yeah.
In fact, I know some of them were around for the, I
Yeah.
think it was the Sunny
Sunny
Meadow
Meadows?
one, which was
That was
4 or
years,
5 years.
yeah.
Exactly, years and years.
So, that was it, and then the other question was on the one of the next items on our agenda, which is the discussion on the vote we took last week on transferring the care and custody from the select board to us. And I asked that we don't talk about that last night because we're gonna revisit it tonight on our agenda. And he said that was fine. But other than that, they were.
Earlier tonight, you said you thought that DPW was kind of dragging their feet a bit.
No, I wouldn't say dragging their feet. I just think they've got a lot of other stuff that
Are
they're
we gonna get
that they're
people
doing.
on that site before before the snow flies?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we met out there today.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and they have good direction on what they need to do next, which is remove the trees. There's 3 trees to remove, then remove a layer of topsoil.
Do we know for sure they have all the signage they need, except for the granite sign?
We talked about the sign for out at the street, and Christine understands what we want. We have to
Right.
give her the exact wording. I want it to match the granite sign, the wording. And then with an arrow, and make 2 of them, and
And
both of
the
them
color
pointing
should
down.
be the same kind of signs they're using in the center of town,
She said the brown,
or whatever they're using
Yeah,
in the center of town
the
these
brown
days.
sign.
Yeah.
But to Dave's point, I think we should have like a grand opening, like in October or something like that. I don't think we want to wait too long.
I'd like to have an opening, but I'm a little worried about the crowd that we might get with too much publicity, and I'd rather that we just kind of put it on the website, town website, and say it's now open to the public. Make sure our signs are in place and make sure the
I'd
parking.
like to see some sort of ceremony out there,
But,
though.
yeah,
Luis.
at some point I'd like to do that, but I'm a little concerned that we don't have a lot of parking, and I think it's gonna be popular. So I just wanna be a little
Yeah, we're
cautious
only
about.
gonna have 15 slots plus people parking on the driveway, so.
Yeah. So that went well, and then as we just mentioned, we did meet with them today on the site, with Christine and Joe Erickson, and I think they've got their direction on what to do. It's pretty straightforward, but they've got other stuff going, and they're coming here, then they're going there, then they're coming back, so it's still gonna
They
be a
multitask.
couple of, it's gonna be a couple of weeks, and they've got somebody out this week and then somebody out next week, so.
But I did get the very strong sense from Christine that she does want to get this site opened to the
Yep,
public.
yeah, she,
No doubt
if
about it.
nothing else, from a personal point of view,
Right,
she was
exactly.
like, I like walking on these
Exactly.
kinds of sites.
I just think, like,
she
if
wants
we
to
can get
get it
this thing
done.
open like in October, I think
Yeah.
the timing would be great.
I'd like
Particularly, we've got
September, I'd like
Well,
September.
September's even better because we got that town meeting coming up, and it'd be great to go and give town meeting a report that, hey,
It's open, yeah.
It's open.
Yeah, that's
You know,
in end of October,
Yeah.
late, that's a good point.
it's a good goal.
So should I go tomorrow and get the
Yeah.
sign going?
Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
5 weeks,
Definitely,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah?
I mean, he can hold it for a
Because
little
that,
while. And we could-
well, in fact, that driveway, we could put that sign in next
Yeah,
week if
yeah.
it was ready.
'Cause, yeah.
Yeah.
So have him go ahead with it, yeah.
I might wait until another 3 weeks or whatever, 4 weeks, but in theory, they could.
But they could even deliver it to the site, nobody's gonna steal
Put a
it.
couple stakes where you want this to,
Yeah,
and then he can go out and meet with Joe, and
Yep.
they can dig the holes for him.
Yeah, keep things moving.
Okay.
Yeah, because we want them to also dig holes for the kiosk. And
yeah.
we're kind of waiting for the parking lot to get fully finalized, and then we'll say, okay.
All right, I'll go tomorrow.
Alright.
and see.
So.
Can you also ask, I'm sorry, Chris, can you also ask about if they have granite columns that might be used to put a chain between them instead of a gate? So like at the end of the driveway?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
whatever
At the end of the Poles driveway?
Yeah, they were asking, could they do that? So I'm just curious what two granite posts would be.
Yeah, if they don't, LeMaisure will have those.
Oh, Johnny has them,
Yeah.
yeah.
But not
And they don't have to be custom made, they
No,
can be,
just simple.
they got
and
2
then we'll
lying
put it-
around to meet general dimensions, we could use them.
All
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
good.
okay.
All right. Want to talk about the timeline for the transfer?
I have one point on
Yeah, Dave.
Warren Pole, if I could. I would just like to remind you all, we did get a little grief when we allowed the beavers to build the dams out there. That's the only site in town that's got any water.
Doesn't have much right now.
All right, it's got more water than other
Probably, yeah,
sites.
thanks to the beavers, probably,
And,
yeah.
and by the way, I mentioned that in the talk yesterday, that was my last slide, and said that, the beaver, and I'm not sure there's any beavers there right now, I think they bailed out.
Wonder where they go. Probably went to
Bigger
Carla.
went somewhere.
Went to Carla.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good to
yeah,
Carla.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they went to John's house.
No, there's none, there's none. No
Okay.
beavers there.
The other thing is the
That's a good point, because you brought that up last night in front of the selectmen about the
Yeah,
the
because
beavers.
they
It's a
can
good
get
place
the-
for beavers.
They can get the call from anyone, just like we get calls. Some. The other thing is, I thought you were going to say that, Dave, that the CR, we're in agreement. It's been sent to Chris Alpin at the town council.
He wants a Word document
he
now. I've
wants-
got to figure out.
I think he's ready to
No,
submit it.
I don't know what I sent him, but
You
apparently.
sent a PDF.
So I got to convert it to a Word. I can do
I
that,
have,
right?
I have the word. I'll send it.
Well, didn't the land trust attorney send us the word?
Yeah, they sent it.
Yeah, but whatever, apparently what I sent to Chris was not Word.
No,
So I must have it somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll get it out to him tomorrow.
Yeah, so that, in fact, I think what happens, the process is it goes to the DCS and
Yeah.
as a, like a draft review, and they'll come back with some feedback, and we may end
I
up,
was surprised he was sending it to them so soon.
yeah, but I
Yeah,
think,
that's
I think
great.
it's
That's
kind of
Great,
a,
that keeps it moving, yeah, good.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a process in there.
I don't
it's
know
gotta go
if
through.
if we told you, but working with the land trust lawyer was a joy.
Good.
He was a good guy to work with.
Good. Well, good. Well, I'm sure he knows the ins and outs of how to get this thing through as fast as it can get through.
Yeah.
Good. All right, good. All right, we ready to talk about the timing of moving the care and custody?
So my suggestion on this is that when I read through the original town meeting warrant article from 2020 to purchase the property, I noticed the wording that said that is among all the other stuff to buy the property, but also to authorize the Board of Selectmen to convey a perpetual restriction in said parcels, blah, blah, blah. And that makes me go, we should let them get the perpetual restriction, which is the CR. So we're doing all the work, but they're gonna be
They're
the
gonna
ones
sign it.
signing it. And once that's done, then we ask to have the property conveyed to us. Because if we do it in the sequence that we voted on last week, they're conveying a restriction on property they're not responsible for.
I'll let you guys worry about that, but to
So-
me, all the language in the CR says Chelmsford Conservation Commission. But anyhow, it's no big deal to do it, but. so-
But that's
What's the
because
timing?
they're.
I mean, if we wait for the CR to be done, it could be, what, another year or two, right?
I suspect it's 6 months, my guess, but who knows? I mean, we have to get a BDR. It could be a year.
The only problem, and David brought it up, is if you get a board that decides they don't want the Conservation Commission to have anything to do with Warren Poll, without it being officially in our hands, they could.
Yeah.
But don't remember, we sit at the will, is that the right term? We sit at the pleasure of the Board of Selectmen
Right.
and the town manager anyhow, so. So I think that's a reasonable record. We can sit on it for a while and just move it along. So we don't have to, so you're saying we don't have to draft a warrant article for this fall?
Right, but we voted to do that last
So
week.
we need to vote to
So I would
rescind
like to make a motion to rescind the vote that we made last week.
You know
I'd
what?
rather not rescind it. I'd rather maybe just amend it. I mean, I still want to do it. I just think timing-wise, I would not want to bring it, I wouldn't want to bring it to this fall's town meeting.
Okay,
I
so
just would
let's,
table it, so to speak, you know?
table it until at least the next town
Table
meeting.
and approve vote?
Yeah, so maybe, if
Or amend it, yeah.
we amend it so that we make that happen when we have the CR.
Can you lay your hands on the language, Vivian, by any chance, from that vote or not?
Last vote, yeah, hang on a second.
I don't know when it was.
Yeah, we'll just like amend it.
Find it.
You're the lawyer.
Yeah.
I'll listen to you.
August
Yeah.
9th
I like it better than rescinding's kind of like.
is near the end.
Amending's kind of got us close to it, because we want to do it, you know?
Yeah.
It's just a question of we want to do it
And
when the time is
Dave's
best.
right in theory, but, the board,
I mean, we do
today's
have a
board
good,
wants us
we
to
do
go.
have a good relationship with the selectmen now, so that's to our
Dave's
favor.
comment was it was better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, no,
He doesn't post them.
things change, and we
Yeah.
all know that, yeah.
I mean, the gist of your motion from the last meeting was to support the concept of the draft warrant article language, which was read into the record, and that was it. It was a very basic motion.
Pretty basic.
To support the.
So what we can say is
do
to amend
support it.
that
That-
motion to include a date in the future,
Yeah,
to be
but
decided by,
Not
by the
to
Conservation
spend a lot. The vote was to support it, not to submit it to town meeting.
Right.
I don't even think we need to amend it, honestly. It's pretty vague.
That's fine with me.
Good.
You're the lawyer.
Let's just make sure it doesn't, let's just make sure it doesn't show up in the warrant.
Well, Paul, I told Paul that, and he understands.
Hey, at least you got 2 reps here. You and I are still eligible to vote there in town meeting, so.
Okay,
know.
so I will, do
Yeah.
you want to talk to Paul on this?
Sure, yeah, I'll let him know.
Yeah, you copy me then, because he and I did talk, and
Yeah.
we're having that
I
conversation.
actually don't think I had a chance to send him an email about the last vote, so.
But he has it listed on their draft warrant article.
Okay.
That's
It's
good.
listed. That's why last night,
They're ready to talk about
Virginia
it.
said,
Yeah.
oh, we're not going to talk about it tonight?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, nope.
Okay, well, I'll make sure it comes off the draft
Yep.
warrant.
Paul will be happy. One less thing
Yeah.
to discuss and vote on. Okay.
Can I ask, Carl, what do you think size-wise on those granite posts, just so I can get a price?
8 by 8?
8 inches, well, that's what they are on the main sign, 8 inches by 8 inches.
8 by 8 by
And they're,
Maybe
they're
even
probably
6 by
6.
6 is just a chain for
Okay.
And they're about 6 feet, right? They're, what is it,
12 feet?
3 up and 2 down in the ground? What do you do for a post?
4 feet down.
4 up and 3
7
down?
feet, 7
7
feet
feet.
long? 7 or 8 feet long? 6 by 6?
6 by
Sure,
6
that-
probably.
This is just to hold a chain.
Yeah.
It's not to hold a big piece of granite, so it
Alright.
doesn't have to be 8 by 8,
Okay.
right?
All right.
The only thing is somebody backs into it with their
Tractor?
Tractor.
Tractor. Oh, he left.
What? We're going back to tractor talk here, and he's not even here. Jeez. All right, good. Let's see. So, anything else?
I have 2 things on land management, Chris.
Yes, Dave.
Carlisle and Chelmsford have been trying to sit down all summer to talk about the management of Hart
Dave, did
Pond.
that meeting ever take place? I was copied on that.
No,
Dave. There's
no.
others.
The first time it didn't
Yeah, I
take place
received- I
because a
received
gentleman
that.
had a heart attack.
Oh, okay.
And the second time it
But I think
didn't
we can
take
talk about
place
it.
because another gentleman had a heart, I don't. But it's been canceled twice. It's now rescheduled for September.
Okay.
And all they want to do is they want to as a refresh your memory, they want to understand how we manage the water levels at Hart Pond. So it's not going to be a long meeting. But when Sylvia called me again, she digressed into a subject about the water in Hart Pond, and she asked if we would ever consider sending water to Carlisle because they're dried out. They're dried out in the cranberry bog. There's nothing there right now. It's gone, and they're losing it. They're losing the wetlands. She says, and I said, quick answer is probably no, because it would take a lot of discussion about what are the circumstances under which we do that. And she said, you know, that historically the Cranberry Company had the right to raise and lower the water levels in Hart Pond. And the reason they did was they would lower the level to get enough water to flood the cranberry bog in the fall to do the harvesting. That's why they had the right to it, and that was probably back in the early 1900s before there were many people around Hart Pond. I suspect that right's gone away. I suspect the right was to the owner. The question is whether or not Carlisle is the owner. And Carlisle technically has the right to raise and lower the water. I didn't want to even discuss that, so I didn't pursue that. But the more we talked about it, the more I realized that I think the reason that we raise the level in the spring, April, lower the level in the fall, Columbus Day, thereabouts, and we do it, we meaning the Hart Pond Association does it. DPW used to do it. They asked the association if they would do it for them. I mean, technically, the town still owns the flume that goes from Baptist Pond, from Hart Pond, rather, to the Cranberry. So if there's any maintenance that has to be done on the flume, technically, I suspect the town does it rather than the Hart Pond Association.
But that's where the boards are located?
Yes, the boards are in that flume area. I don't know where, it's probably one set of boards, they're up or they're down, it's not 2 sets of boards. I suspect they raise the boards in the springtime to hold the winter snow water. And so they had a reservoir that they could use later on, and they lowered it in October to flood the farm, the harvesting. That's it's not because, oh, the homeowners wanted more water for their summer properties, which is the way I used to think it was. I don't think that's the case. I think it had nothing. I think raising and lowering those boards in April and October, it was totally dependent upon
Makes
the
sense.
farming of the cranberry board.
Exactly.
So one thing going forward, and it's not high priority, but we need to rethink a little bit, and I mean, how do we manage? Because conservation probably should have a say in the water levels of I keep calling it Baptist Pond. I'm not that old. I didn't want to stir a hornet's nest up. We have a good telephone tree downstream, so when if there's a severe water event in Hart Pond, people all along the stream, all the way down to the dam at the Red Mill, they're all notified there's water coming. So that's worked in the past. So the operation is okay. There hasn't been any maintenance needed that I know of on those boards for as long as I've been around. So, but it was interesting. She raised the question: would you be willing to send us some water? It's like the old West, right?
Yeah.
The New
All right.
West.
The
It's not the Old West.
The second one I wanted to bring up is some of you, I don't know if all of us, got a very nice report from Phil Stanway about Wright Reservation. It was very complete, I think, and I checked with Carl because I haven't been out there, a very good evaluation of the condition of the trails and the walkways out there. And his recommendation is that COS, rebuild many or all of the walkways. And he wants to do it with scouts.
It's a nice offer. Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm a little concerned, that's a big project. It's not just one 25-foot walkway. These are walkways going through wetlands and swamps, and I want to make sure before we got the money to do it in the Wright Reservation Trust Fund. I want to make sure that we've got skilled people managing the Boy Scouts to build these walkways. I'm not saying that cost isn't. I just would need to feel a little more comfortable about it. My question is, did Mr. Stanway ever get a hold of you as chair?
No.
Because it really should be between
Yeah.
either that or you delegate it to Carl, and
Yeah.
probably Carl, because he knows Wright
He's got-
Reservation by
yeah.
the back of his hand.
Yeah.
I know Phil would be very reluctant to come to a public hearing on this. He just doesn't. He doesn't enjoy that. But we certainly need. I mean, I have no idea what this sucker's going to cost. I mean, how much is that? I don't know. How many board feet of wood are they going to need?
I'm looking on the
He had a
report.
price on there, didn't he?
And,
Well, 15 grand, but I don't think that's enough. Just for
yeah,
wood.
this is a big project, and my gut feel is it's bigger than a Eagle Scout project. But
See, that's my. I mean, there are Eagle Scouts and there are Eagle Scouts. Not to criticize them,
Right.
but some kids do
Yeah.
fantastic jobs.
Absolutely.
Other
Yeah.
kids do okay jobs.
Yeah,
And,
exactly. And this one needs the best. This is.
We
This is a
certainly
big
have the
project.
resources to do it, so that's not a concern.
Exactly.
And it has to be done to last another 25 years.
Yeah. Well, Carl, I mean, would you be willing to reach out to Phil and
Yep.
kind of have some follow-up and report back to us?
I would really like to convince Phil to come and talk to us, because there's a relationship there that does need to work. Because they do such good job on the one hand, and then he doesn't want to talk to you. So anyhow. Third one I had, just a quick question. There's a site walk Thursday at Freeman Lake.
Site visit, yes.
How many people can go in that boat?
I think I heard 6.
So,
At
do you know
most.
how many are signed up?
No, although I think it's going to be 2 people from DEP. It's going to be the person from Solitude, so that's 3.
It's gotta be you.
You're 4.
4. It
Whoever's
probably,
driving the boat.
it should be somebody from, at least one other from the
Make sure you have your life
from the
jacket on.
commission. And how about the residents that filed the appeal?
One of them.
So that's 7. That's more than 6.
Well, I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to. And it's not that I'm afraid of water, but it's gonna be it's gonna be 2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours, it's kind
Really?
of like the ESS Minnow, I
Are they,
think.
go- are they,
2 hour tour.
are they gonna,
Hopefully better luck.
are they gonna scuba dive?
No, but I think they want to look very closely at all of the areas in question.
Yeah, so they're not going below the surface, you don't think?
I don't believe so. No.
But they may have some camera
So my
or some
real question
viewer.
was, is that 6-person pontoon boat big enough to handle all of the people at the sidewalk? And I guess the answer is no.
No, but is it enough to handle all the people who
Are you
want to be
going?
on the boat?
No, I'm not gonna go.
But there's gotta be somebody running this sidewalk, right? Shouldn't we be running it?
Well, yeah, I think Courtney Thompson from DPW will be there, and I think, but between me and her, I think we can do that. But I think at least one member of the commission should be there, because the way these typically work is that the person from DEP will ask the commission to justify, their order of conditions.
When is it?
This Thursday?
Thursday.
What time?
What time?
I think it was at 11 or 1.
I haven't kept up on those emails. Okay.
I don't know.
Did I put it in the agenda?
No. Yes, you did. There's no time, though.
Doesn't say.
Oh, I didn't put a time. I can. look
No,
it
I
up.
think it would be good to have a commissioner on there. It's hard for me with my work schedule to do it.
I mean, I can't walk, so I don't know whether sitting in a boat would constitute not walking.
Just have to get in and out, that's all.
But I need my balance.
I don't see
Well,
any
I
time.
mean, it's.
Oh, 11
My
o'clock.
legs won't give me my balance.
We don't want you going overboard.
That's
either.
right. I
No,
can swim.
That's good.
So it's really, I think in my opinion, it's really the responsibility of the person from Solitude, because they're really the town's representative.
Yeah, they're the
And-
vendor, right?
Right, and they're the ones really with the technical knowledge to hopefully, justify.
Yeah, that's right. They have to answer the questions that are raised
Right.
in the appeal.
And there's gonna be some technical questions.
Mr.
Right.
Severance has got,
There's gonna be technical
Right.
questions,
is
exactly.
he
So
gonna,
I-
is
I
he
thi-
gonna be there, do you know?
What's that?
Severance?
I think he
is
probably
gonna
will
be
be,
there?
yes. But I think it makes the most sense for the person from Solitude to go out in the boat.
Yes.
Have you talked to the gentleman or lady from Solitude to tell them about our experience with some of the people at Freeman Lake? Just so they're pre-warned?
No, I have not, but she did send an email to the person from DEP, asking what she needs to do to be prepared
Right.
for their visit, and so, and I thought he answered her very well, so I think she's gonna be, prepared to do that. But I think I have a copy of the appeal here, so I mean, the two main issues in the appeal are, number one, that that the commission didn't find that it was an ecological restoration limited project, or it met the criteria as an ecological restoration limited project, and I have that right here. The term ecological restoration project shall not include project, no, I'm sorry. Ecological restoration project means a project whose primary purpose is to restore or otherwise improve the natural capacity of a resource area to protect and sustain the interests identified in Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, when such interests have been degraded or destroyed by anthropogenic influences. So the appeal basically says the commission didn't find that those interests have been degraded or destroyed by anthropogenic influences up at Freeman Lake.
Well, we certainly didn't take a vote to that effect, but we were relying on Solitude's recommendations.
Absolutely, they provide some very detailed technical information to us, so I'm not worried.
And the other point they've made is that, a plan really was not provided to the commission, really, to show where the the infestations of the nuisance vegetation were located, and and otherwise to justify the treatment with herbicides. Oh. As I say, I think it's a matter of relying on Solitude.
Yeah.
To address those. But, I mean, there will be a superseding order of conditions issued. Just a question of what will be the conditions in it.
Yeah.
I can be there if needed, if you need me.
I mean, it might be
I'm
interesting.
not planning to
if
go out
you-
on the boat,
If
but,
you got the time, I mean, it could be interesting to
yeah,
experience.
if no one else is available.
Yeah.
Somebody said all the weed growth has gone away.
I've been by, Bill, you've been out there too. Honestly, this year, there's no
Not like
weeds
it
out
was
there.
last year.
No, last year,
aroma.
you could, it looked like you could walk across the thing. It was
Right.
green everywhere.
Right.
This year, there's no green out there, but last year we had a lot of rain.
That's right.
This year, we've had
There's some
like
green out
drought.
there, but
Yeah,
It's not like last year.
yeah, last year was unbelievable. I mean, it was like 80% of the lake was covered by that stuff. It was-
And that allegedly was because
That's
of all
what
the
got
rain.
the citizens going, right?
we were there at town meeting, and everybody was up in arms that we had to take action out there, and there was all types of support for it last fall. But again, this year, totally different summer experience, drought and
Okay, so
everything.
you answered my question. The boat holds 6 people.
Plus the driver, it said, I just saw.
6 people. All right,
Pilot,
so we
the
got
pilot.
Carl is a maybe for taking the
If,
2-hour cruise. Yes,
me and the skipper, yeah.
skipper. Yeah. All right. Well, good. Well, we're interested in how it
There's gonna
goes.
be will there be a discussion prior to the boat cruise or post?
That's the way it usually works.
Maybe I'll show up for the discussion at the outset.
Yeah, you could be there day for the launching, and you know.
And it's 11 o'clock? Where is the launch port? Where's
The beach, or the meeting point is the beach. So,
Up at Freeman, at the
the Varney Park.
Varney
Beach,
Park,
yeah.
okay, oh, okay.
So, so yeah, I again, if it goes the way these usually do, the person or people from DEP will ask the commission, well, why did you do this or not do that? Based on, the issues raised in the appeal, so.
Good.
That's all I had, Chris.
Good.
It's
All right, well,
more
good.
than enough.
All right, so that takes us through the discussion about the Freeman Lake visit. Anything else from the agent's perspective for tonight?
No, I don't have anything.
All right. Vivian, do we have, we don't have the minutes yet, do we? No, okay.
She's
All
been
right.
too busy fighting the critters.
One thing, John, how do we get rid of all the hay in our barn at Warren?
I've talked to Henry about it, and nobody's using it.
Is it even usable?
Yeah, it's used.
Pretty old,
4 or 5 years old.
falling apart.
Yeah, they could have put it out
Could we just
along
spread it on the
edge.
ground? Or
They-
is that
they
gonna
could.
kill off everything?
No, they could have used it instead of the wattle.
Yeah, I think we should save some of it for erosion control. Here and there. I've already seen a few places where I think it would be
Good.
useful.
On
Yeah,
the
just-
site,
On the
but,
site,
Yeah,
yeah.
but still, there's, I don't know, 50 bales, or, it's like, how do we might need 5.
Right.
Well,
I'm just, when I talked to
you
Phil.
start opening it up and pitching it around with a fork.
Put in the back of your car.
No, I got a truck for that, and a tractor.
But do you think any of the horse?
I'll talk with Phil about Wright, and when I do, I'll mention that we have.
Mention the hay,
You
because
might
They do
want-
I
the
they have a
scarecrow thing.
Yeah, they have a fall thing with the scarecrow. You could have a hay ride or something. There might be some
That's,
They have that
recreational
thing in the
activities,
center,
right?
It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I'll say, please use some of them.
There are a couple of horse farms in town, aren't they?
yeah,
Or-
but that's no good now for
It's
the
too old.
horses.
Pretty much environmental
It's-
thing now.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
the hay's, it would have been nice if they just used that along the edges
Shelf
instead
life's
of the wattle.
It's stale.
Plus,
Even
you don't
for
want to leave it
show.
in there, it's a fire hazard at some point.
Right,
Right.
yeah, that's
The
what.
whole thing is, you
Right.
gotta
Right.
clean the
Yeah.
whole barn out
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
at that point.
Yeah, we want to get it out of there, get that barn cleaned up.
If
Okay.
Well, I can talk to Paul about it,
What? I don't know I know why we just can't spread it around on the field. It'll deteriorate.
That's where it came from.
Yeah.
somebody has to
It's
do
work.
that. Right.
That's the
Well,
thing.
It's-
I'm looking for somebody that comes in with a wagon and loads it up and
You got
says, thank you very much.
your guy Mayotte who loves to move stuff around. So.
Yeah, well,
No, we might have to bring this up in the next edition of Tractor Talk, really.
There we go.
We'll set aside the good ones for Phil for whatever he needs for the scarecrows.
You could tell him
And
to
the
take
rest
his,
of it,
take
just
his
lose it.
pick. Take his pick.
Right.
That, exactly.
And then the rest of it, let's get rid of it.
There's a lot of those fall activities. It could fit in with some of the themes that.
You don't want that sitting in that barn too forever.
Well, so I wonder
has-
if
it
you
has-
could use
I
it
know,
for
but
like
people
smothering
around the
invasives,
fire hazard.
like, you know.
Oh, good question.
That reminds me.
What are they gonna do with the barn,
Which barn?
once it's
The
cleaned
one on the
up?
left?
I don't know.
We'll
hay
use,
barn.
we'll use it for something. Store stuff, store equipment.
Tractors.
Practice.
Tractor time.
Christmas party.
Yeah, you wanna rebuild your tractor.
Oh, no, I got the spot for that. I'm all set.
Do we,
Okay.
are we on to any next subjects?
No, you got it, Dave.
Do we want to do anything about limiting access to our reservations because of the drought and fire hazards? I mean, no open fires are allowed without a permit. That doesn't mean, so I don't know what more you could do. If you're gonna close the reservations, you need to have you need police to check but I've noticed some reservations in Eastern Mass, in fact, are doing it. I
Yeah.
noticed DCR just announced this afternoon, they're closing all the state reservations,
Really?
at least in the east. I don't know about,
Yeah, this section of the
yeah,
state.
I don't know.
Just as we get rain.
Yeah.
Well, just all of them, not just the ones that allow camping?
He said, well, what they said, I'm sorry, they're not allowing open fires and flames. That's a weird one. I mean, I don't know how you enforce that. But in all of their sites, they didn't say anything about camping, but I figure that's camping if there's no open fires.
But like Great Brook isn't closed, right?
It was this afternoon at 4 o'clock,
I
I
don't
heard
think
it,
there's
so I don't know.
camping.
I don't know. They're probably gonna enforce it the way the T is.
Well, at least we got some rain today.
Yeah, we'll hope that
Okay,
continues.
so I guess the answer is no.
No, right now, no. But that's food for thought. But we certainly don't, I mean, how's it go for campfires? Somebody's gotta come in and ask for permission,
Yes,
right?
right.
So we're not gonna give any permission for
We
campfires.
don't allow any open fires
Yeah,
without a
so-
permit.
Yeah, so no, yeah. No fires. I think everybody's agreed on that, no campfires.
Maybe just one other thing I can mention, that reminds me. I just want to give the commission a heads up. I think someone from Chelmsford Youth Soccer is going to be coming to an upcoming meeting to talk about renewing the MOU.
Oh, good.
Nice.
For what they do out there. And
It expired, it was a 10-year MOU, it expires this December, but it's renewed unless one party gives a 3-year notice.
well, I think it expired last
Does it?
December.
Yeah, they have to give a 3-year each party has to give 3-year notice, because we figured it would take that long for them to find fields.
So I think it's probably a matter of signing a new MOU.
So
at
we
this
need to
point.
think a little bit, is there anything that we need them to do or stop doing? And I think they've
Been pretty good
They've been pretty good
relationship.
they've been pretty good
Yeah.
tenants or custodians or whatever you call them.
Yeah,
Well, I think we'll get a better idea from, their representative when they come to meet.
for next meeting?
Do you know who it is?
I don't.
They probably change them every year, because
Mhm.
Emerson's been on there
It's
for a
a
long
pretty
time.
standard.
who?
Emerson.
John Emerson.
Yeah, he was. We met with
He
him.
still is, yeah.
Is he?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and,
he was not the person who came and spoke to me.
Somebody else, yeah.
That was a very young man, so I don't think it'll be him, but it'll be somebody.
All right, anything else? All right, motion to adjourn?
So move.
So moved by Dave, seconded by Carl? No,
Yeah, Carl.
Mark.
Mark.
Nice try. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous, yeah. I heard the voice down that end. That was-
Yeah, it sounded like Kyle, didn't it?